In need of coin, the party ventured forth from the trading town of Zagahta and into the net cave network of Stryals Den. There they discovered a small band of Troglydites who were seemingly stealing the local farmer's supply of lemons. Tasked with stopping these Trogs, the party put their heads together and rid the town of the Trogs. After holding a few lemons hostage, negotiating with the leader, and learning about the Trogs' mysterious leaders, Lady and the Boss Man, the party did some exploring of the cave. With the help of Vinda's keen eyes and Curiosity's watcher magic, the party uncovered a strange statue of a bearded and close-fisted man who wore a rose-built buckle and a nimbus halo of a 5-point star. With Vinda recalling the symbol as something marking vile evil, the party now rests inside the cave a little less easy. With the day ahead of them and promise of payment in town, we begin our adventure.
Are we starting up immediately from where we left off last session? Or is there a time lapse at all?
We are going to start in the next morning unless there's something anyone wanted to absolutely do before they go to sleep. I'll take that as a no.
Yeah, the only thing I'm thinking of is Ari would probably take his hood off for the night, but that's it.
Alright. As you all make yourselves comfortable as you can be within the cave system. Eventually, with Harmony at the front of your of the cave's entrance, you see the sun. The Sunasta is beginning to rise, and it is the early next morning. So, Harmony, you watch as the early morning comes to a head. I assume you've taken probably turns with someone or other people in guarding the entrance, but you find yourselves once again at the front, and Winter is still asleep. She hasn't stirred much from her initial slumber. The torchlight at the front of the cave has dimmed down slightly, still somewhat flickering, but is no longer needed as light pours in from the front entrance. Neither you nor anyone else who's taken turns with you has seen any sign of the Trogs' return. It seems as though they've kept their word, at least for now.
Well, seeing that the sun's coming up, I'll tap Winter, kind of stir her.
You see she kind of rolls, and her eyes quickly come to you and focus on you. Yes? Did I miss anything?
I'll just night watch, but it's morning.
Oh, yeah, I said I was going to do that, didn't I?
Don't worry about it. And then I'll go and wake everybody else up, if they're not already awake.
Yeah, so who all is in the room where we're sleeping?
In your room, it'd probably be just you and your brother, it looks like. Vinda and Ari are off to the side.
Yeah, so, I think Yorm would have woken up a little bit early. We'd already just be poking at the fire. have eaten and be preparing to come and let you guys know he's ready to go scout ahead for the way back.
Speaking of eating, does anyone have rations?
I do.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
That I do.
All right, you can go ahead and mark off one thing of rations for the night you've spent here.
I have a pack of a week's worth of rations, so should I just get rid of
Make
that?
a note.
Okay.
If it's a week, just make a note that you've used a single day's worth of those rations.
Yeah, I'll put off to the side 6 of 7 or something.
All right, with that, is there any preparations you guys would like to make before you head out or do anything? What are we doing today?
I make some magic bandages like I put in the chat.
Okay, easily done.
I probably want to scout ahead. So when we travel, go in front of everyone. So I probably want to be just going a little bit ahead on the path that I know we're going to take back, while everyone else fully prepares to, leave and everything.
Okay, so you just want to take a look at the surrounding area nearby?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go ahead and make for me.
I'd also like to do so as stealthily as possible because I don't want wild, dangerous creatures to eat me.
Okay. Make a stealth check for me. And then make a perception tracking purpose test for me.
So yeah, when you go back inside to see everyone, Gorm nods at you and says, "I'll go scout ahead," and just walks on out.
Right. As Gorm leaves the cavern, the rest of you having your morning conversation.
Alright, while we do that, I'm gonna strum a little bit on my lute, see if I can, not necessarily inspire, but at least set the mood for the day.
Before we leave, I want to look around and see if there's anything that we overlooked last night.
Okay. Just make a searching test.
That's perception.
Yep. Taking a quick glance around, there's nothing out of place. The fires have died down a bit. You still see the chimney hole behind Olav, the giant hole in the ground. But as the daylight dawns, nothing more is revealed to you.
Oh yeah, you can check the daylight button on the map now.
I could, but then it would reveal the entire cave.
It shouldn't, because if line of sight is checked.
We can see.
Yep.
Alright, so Gorm, you take a moment to go outside and you scout. You see, as you are only about a mile away from Zagahta, it doesn't take you very long to see the edges of the town. See the wall and the road leading to it. Looking in this nearby area, most of the tracks of the line of Trogs and yourself have disappeared in the night. It seems that the sand has washed them clean. Looking about, you don't see any fresh or new tracks, and you don't see any sign of any particular dangers anywhere near the cave system. As far as you can tell, the pathway leading back to the road seems to be perfectly safe.
Oh, that's good. I'll start making my way back towards the group. Probably meet them partway coming back.
Yeah, are the rest of you exiting the cave now?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Curiosity flies up into the air and starts flying in circles over the group as we get ready to depart.
Sorry, guys. I was hoping she would pop into Discord before we left.
It happens.
Discord takes a while to update sometimes. It's annoying.
Well, she had to restart her computer, and it's become a whole thing now.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yay, fun.
Updates are the best.
This last update was glitched because I had to restart my computer too.
I haven't restarted Discord because I put my computer to sleep. So
I think it updated on mine fine. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems to have been fine on mine.
So if my Discord happens to crash, you're gonna have fun waiting for me.
2 years later,
Okay.
he's like, "Well, you're not going to say anything anyway, so we'll just like have you shoot somebody in the face, and then it'll be good."
Oh, dear.
Alright then. Where do you all want to head?
Task is complete. I would suggest home. Or, not home, but Zagahta. Turn in the quest.
Is there anything that, like, they asked for as proof that we completed our quest?
No, they didn't. They merely asked you to clear out the cave. But they didn't mention anything as far as proof.
Yeah, there was no mention of proof, if I remember right, and they kind of didn't care how we did it, just they wanted them gone. And the Trogs are gone.
Matter of fact, I was watching the beginning of it, and they kind of implied that they thought we were just going to wipe them out and be done with it.
Yeah, it was implied that we would exterminate them. They wouldn't have to worry about them anyways, but at the same time, we're different because we gotta hold lemons hostage.
I vote we don't tell them we didn't kill them. We just say that the cave has been cleared.
Yeah.
I agree. I think we should be sparing with details and not tell them that we gave them the rest of the lemons, too.
Well, as far as the village would be concerned, the lemons that were pilfered are gone anyways, so they wouldn't be of any
And then there's no harm in not mentioning it.
Yeah.
This would be kind of hard to explain.
I mean, Gorm isn't
awesome
there.
as it was.
I imagine if you're talking about this and while he's out, Gorm isn't there. I don't know. He'd be kind of uncertain about that sort of approach to a business transaction, but
It was technically fulfilled to the letter of the contract. The cave was cleared out. The Trogs were removed from this location.
Let's talk about it while we walk.
All
All right.
Woohoo! Here you are.
Welcome.
We are just heading back to town to discuss prices.
Okay.
you mean the agreed upon price that we agreed upon?
Yes.
Yeah, but for something else, but yeah, okay.
Harry.
What? I'm just referencing the murder hobos. I'm not saying we would do that.
I mean, we could be doing that if I had gotten some skins.
That's yours.
That's disturbing.
Alright, as you all leave Stryals Den, making your agreed upon terms as to how you will present your deeds to the locals, you begin walking down the sandstone pathway. You've been down this road before. It's the same road you took when you were guarding the caravans. You know that the road that you're traveling on is it's not built to go to Zagahta. Zagahta was built later on. This is one of the main trade routes to places like Quester, the capital city of the Azamar. So as it is, it's very well maintained and used quite often. That's partly what makes it somewhat safe to travel, as creatures just sort of naturally know to sort of stay away from this section of desert. As you travel, is there anything further you wish to discuss?
I kind of want to tell the story because it just it was just so. Vinda flees into the tether necklace so that only Ari can hear her laughter that eventually devolves into hiccuping.
Vinda, dear, that's alright. That will be a tale for another day. perhaps one farther away than this city, and perhaps in a tavern. After maybe 5 or so hundred drinks. But the tale could be told, eventually anyways. It is an epic tale. We'll see what happens, but discretion can be helpful sometimes.
As you all continue to converse and consider your plans, you cross the desert dune and step on, as I said, stepped onto the paved stone of the road leading to Zagahta. You walk down this road for a little while, maybe about a half hour, 45 minutes, and soon you see the arched gateway of the bustling trade town of Zagahta. You remember that the last time you approached this gate, it was wide open and very welcoming to you and the caravan you traveled with. However, as you approach this time, you see that the gates are closed, and a slender woman wearing a fetching burgundy cloak is draped around her shoulders, and the hood is pulled up, obscuring her face and features. You see her standing in front of the doors, and she seems to be yelling at the guards standing up on the walls. As you come closer, you are able to catch a bit of what is being said. You hear the woman's voice as she says, "Wayan, you open this gate this instant. I don't care what the mayor told you. You can't lock me out of my own town, out of my own shop." And you hear a male guard sound, which you assume is probably this Wayan. You hear him say, "I'm sorry, Taylor, but we have our own orders. You really made him angry, declaring him to be possessed by demons." "I did no such thing, and you know it. I merely pointed out what everyone has been thinking, and the mayor has been acting strangely, and don't you deny it. Wayan, come on now. Are you really going to leave me out here to die in the sand?" "Oh, come on, Tila. Don't be so dramatic. The caravan that just came in is only a mile out of town. I'm sure you can stay with them until the mayor cools down for a bit." "This is outrageous! When I get back inside there? Ugh! I'll make you regret this. Just you see if I help you the next time your wife has one of her fainting fits." And as you guys approach, you hear this argument continues with her. She starts listing all of the things she does in town, and you hear the guard just sort of bemoaning her and telling her there's nothing he can do.
Harry, what's going on?
I fly down to her and say, "Hello, ma'am. What seems to be the problem?"
She turns to you, and as she does, you get a glimpse of her face, and you see brown but almost orange eyes, and very, very smooth, pale skin, and the little bit of light that comes through her hood. You can see it reflects off these like strange rune tattoos down one side of her face that you can see. And she looks at you, and her face, which is right now contorted into anger, softens as she sees your face. And she smiles a bit, and she says, "Oh, thank goodness. Finally, there's someone else here. Yes, this idiot guard won't let me come back into my own home, even though I have lived here forever and I've had one argument with the mayor, and now I can't get back inside. It's complete injustice."
Well, how long have you been out here? Did they throw you out of the city, or did you leave on an errand and now they won't let you back in?
I left to get my daily supply of herbs and other things that I need for my alchemy shop. The things I do use, by the way, to help this town, as there is only one doctor. I'm not even a doctor. But yes, I went out to go and get those things, and when I came back, the gates were closed, and now Warren won't open them for me.
I call over towards the gates. Excuse me, Mr. Guard, could you please open the gates so my friends and I can come into the town? We've completed our mission that we were sent on.
You see the guard, he looks between you and the elf. I mean, you're not barred from the city, sir, and neither are your friends, but Tila, you can't come in. You see her she crosses her arms and she stares at him and she taps her foot against the sandstone. She thinks for a moment and then she turns to you, Curiosity. I'll leave. Look, it's fine. I'll leave. I can stay with the caravan for a little while. And then before she turns, she leans in and she whispers, I can get myself in there if you can get those gates open.
I ask her, why did you say the mayor was controlled by demons?
I didn't say that. He exaggerated my words. I simply said that he was acting strangely and that I believed he was under some sort of spell. But look, if you want more details, I can tell you about this later. Right now, I need to get back to my shop. Who knows what he's done in there already?
Oh, so we were sent on our quest by, not the mayor, right? It was like the vice mayor or something.
Assistant mayor.
Yeah.
Hard gaze.
Yep.
So we haven't met the actual mayor.
You have not.
Well, I would be interested in hearing more of what you have to say once we're both inside the town gates.
I would be happy to provide that for you, as well as a free potion, if you can get me through. Then she sort of puffs out her cloak, and she stands taller and straighter, and she starts walking in the opposite direction, in the direction you came from, as she says, "Very well, Warren. As I said, you will live to regret this. I'll make sure of it. The whole town will regret their. You'll regret it!" And she starts walking off. She's gonna. Okay. Gorm. So as you stand behind, kind of observing this with curiosity, you see this woman, and she starts walking towards you. And after she gets just a little bit past your form, you see she quickly shifts so that she's standing behind you. And you notice her shift, and as soon as she manages to get behind your body, she disappears completely.
I cock an eyebrow and say nothing.
Okay, walk up to the gate and look expectantly for it to be opened.
You see the guard just shakes his head and sighs, and then slowly face palms. Alright, let them in. Come on. The gate, once again, the small archway gate that you came in through before, slowly parts into two ways, and you step out onto onto the pavemented area leading into the marketplace. As soon as your entire party steps through, the gates once again close behind you, and you just hear the gate guard say, "Move along! Move along!"
So what was that all about? I say to the guard as we walk past him.
And as I walk in, I tried to walk in. I don't know if that thing has any limits, but I tried to walk in with as broad and tall as possible with my back facing away from the guard at all points, just in case.
Okay. As you approach the guard, he just shakes his head once again. He says, it's just... Tila's a bit of a troublemaker, and she's just causing problems again."
Oh, this happens frequently then?
Not with the mayor, but frequently, yes, she tends to be the source of issues. But most of the time, we all let it go because there isn't a doctor in town, and the alchemist is the closest we have.
Well, if there are any people currently sick, I do know a little bit of healing arcana.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure your services would be welcome, and we are not suffering from any great disease or anything, it's mostly just everyday things, knee scrapes, broken arms, that kind of thing. The occasional cold.
I look at the guard and I'm like, oh, she's an alchemist?
Yeah, she sells alchemy stuff and some magic stuff. She's kind of mostly magic things. There's not a lot of people who know magic around here, but she's the only one that gets it, I guess.
I nod my head slowly.
Anyway, I recognize you all from the caravan, and I know the assistant mayor wanted you guys to complete a task for her. Hope you were able to fix our problem. But hey, really wasn't looking forward to sending my own troops down there. We really just can't afford it.
Oh, quite understandable. As far as I can tell, the job is accomplished, but we will have to talk with your mayor. Or the assistant mayor. Is Assistant Hartgraves still in their office?
Yeah, she should still be in her office as far as I know. And he points up to the upper part of town that you have been through before, where a lone building stands in sort of an upper platform in town. He says, she's there most days. She's practically running the place right now, but yeah, she should have time for you.
She's practically running. Why would she be the one running things rather than the mayor?
Honestly, no one really knows. Mayor's just not been himself for a little while. He just really hasn't been making appearances. Hasn't been making it his meeting. I think he's probably just going through something. Some people say he's sick. Other people, there are other rumors, but it doesn't really matter to me. As long as me and my men get paid and nothing too serious happens, Hartgaze is pretty good at keeping things under control.
Oh, understandable. Well, thank you for your time, though. Delight be with you.
And with you. Good day. So, As you guys move a little bit further from the gate, you step into the thoroughfare and are once again greeted by the thriving hustle and bustle of the market of Zagahta. The sounds which you could barely hear outside the gate when it was closed, but now they come pouring into your ears, and you hear shouts of prices and available goods. You hear it spoken in many different languages, as well as sort of the pattering, the pitter-patter of animal hooves and other feet traveling across the same compact sandstone road. As you move a little bit further in, you are immediately reminded of the sight of the bland sandstone buildings that are just covered and decorated in colorful tapestries, rugs, curtains, cloths. Some of these are for sale in the markets. Some simply adorn the buildings to sort of distinguish them from the others. You are immediately, however, grateful for the shade that large canopies that crisscross over the road above you. And they provide you a bit of shade from the noon sanasta, which is, it's not quite glaring down on you yet, but it is rising. Very soon after this, you also are reminded of the smell of exotic spices and cooked meats, some of which are carried on the wind from the nearby Crimson Force Tavern, which some of you have been sleeping in, as well as spice vendors nearby. There's also a reminder that in the midst of this scent, there's always this ever-present citrus lemony taste in your mouth as you move forward through the village.
And Ari will also quietly tell Vinda, "It's all right, Vinda. I know. There are a few scents that are afoot here, and the mayor is one of them. We'll keep our eye open."
Eventually, as you move further away from the gates and into the sort of the town thoroughfare, curiosity, you don't so much hear as feel a presence come near you. And Olav and Ari, as you are behind Curiosity, you see all of a sudden the same burgundy cloaked woman just appear in front of you.
Pleasure to see you again, my lady.
She dusts off her cloak and pulls the hood down, and as she does, she reveals her elven ears and just beautiful flowing wavy red hair. It's very long but very well kept and very beautiful. You also see that the rest of you also notice the yellow runes that go down the side of her face go down on both sides, starting at the top of her forehead and moving down. It's good to be back home. Been standing out there for probably near half hour. It's undignified, I tell you.
Of course, my lady. Half hour for such a woman as you, it's dreadful, isn't it?
Isn't someone going to recognize you?
Oh, probably, but they can dare their luck kicking me out now.
But won't they just lock the gate again when you have to go get more supplies?
Oh, I'll make sure to put my earful into the mayor before the day's out. I'll make sure that does not happen again. The mayor can be quite annoyed with me, but he can't deny the services I provide. If he thought he was going to scold me by putting me in the corner, he has another thing coming.
So what has been going on with the mayor?
She looks around, and you do notice now that she's looking, there are eyes turning to her. Most of them, I mean, they give her a glance, but then come back and staring at you as the outsiders. But they seem to mostly care about what's going on with themselves, selling their goods, talking to be amongst each other. But even still, she sort of beckons for you to come to, not really an alley, but in a smaller section where there's fewer people around. As you follow her in, she says, "Well, it's nothing quite as dramatic as he's made it seem, although, well, at least I thought it wasn't, but with current events, perhaps it is more than what I thought. Recently, I was asked by an anonymous tip to take a look at the mayor. You see, for the last month, he really hasn't been appearing much. He's normally quite a very involved mayor and generous and kind and willing to help with his people. But recently he hasn't been making his weekly appearances. He hasn't been particularly as involved as people you aren't accustomed to." So I arranged a meeting with him. I was thinking he was probably under the weather of some kind, and perhaps too proud to admit it. So I just wanted to make an examination of him. On the down low.
And through such an examination, it came to his understanding that you were accusing him instead of being a concerned citizen as such as you are, looking out for his well-being.
Well, it didn't so much come to his attention as I outright said, and perhaps that was my fault. I have a little bit of magic under my control, and I informed him that I believed he was under an enchantment. But mind you, I didn't think it was a powerful enchantment. If I had, I would not have said anything. I simply thought he was maybe under some kind of weird minor potion. It's not uncommon for love potions to be used or those types of things. Other mind-affecting influences that usually wear off after a short period of time, or can be broken if the wearer is aware that he is under such spell. Anyway, so when I was in his room, I informed him of this, and he seemed amenable. He told me that he would see to it, and he would come to my office, and I would give him a potion to aid him in this. I thought, great, problem solved. And then a week went by, and then another week, and he never showed up.
Curious, you think he would have shown up just to settle your nerves, given the previous behavior of this particular mayor?
So you have potions that can undo enchantments?
Yes! What? Sorry. Someone... Yeah, repeat that?
I was just agreeing with you in that I think it's
No,
questionable.
I heard you. I'm talking about the angel.
You have potions that can undo enchantments.
Oh, I have many potions. I would have to see the exact enchantment. I'm just, I'm good at mixing and telling things. Sort of a bit of this and that and getting what I need.
During your examination of the mayor, what sort of enchantment did you think he was under? Something of malevolent intent?
Well, malevolent is difficult to tell from a simple examination. I wasn't exactly certain. I had to do this sort of on the sly, so I was limited in my options. It's a sort of, I believe it's a mind-affecting enchantment. But as far as the extent of it, I can't tell. It could be something as simple as a memory erosion. Anyway, as I was saying, it would not have been a problem. I would have probably let it go. Perhaps he just didn't want to be examined. That is until he put a bogus accusation of tax evasion onto my doorway. Quite a preposterous claim, as I'm very thorough and careful with my payments. I was incensed. And when he made his only appearance in the last couple of weeks, I may have chewed him out on stage in front of the entire town. And as she speaks, you notice she sort of, her hands and fingers sort of twitch, and she kind of avoids making eye contact and stares at the ground a little bit, trying to make it sound like what she's saying is important and great, but you can tell she's very uncomfortable with the conversation.
Well, in truth, that probably wasn't the smartest thing to do. But I definitely think there's something going on here in light of other recent events. This may be something serious that we should look into.
Agreed. You aren't by chance going near the mayor's station, are you?
We're on our way to meet with the assistant mayor.
Hardgaze. She's a fine woman, quite cordial, and she should be able to help you. Just, don't mention that we've spoken, yeah?
That would probably be prudent.
Good. Great. Oh, I almost forgot. As I promised, for your help back there, if you come to my shop, I will, one free potion on the house, your choosing.
Thank you very much.
And where would your shop be located?
Oh, it's in the market, towards the middle, closer to the fountain. It's called the Mirror Image.
A good name for your shop, ma'am. Thank you for the discount, as it were, and the directions.
You're welcome, and you're all welcome at any point to come into my shop. Please, do tell me what becomes of it, and don't worry about mentioning me to the mayor or anything. As I said, I will make sure that he doesn't do that again. I'll clear the air.
Of course.
It might not be best to meet with him alone.
Do not worry, young lad. I have, you should be more worried about him meeting me alone.
Ari just has a big smirk on his face, like he knows about what she's talking about.
Given the oddities around this situation, I am concerned that this enchantment may be related to Shadow Soul.
You see her face, which has been sort of bubbly and cheerful this whole time, just darken, and she locks eye contact with you. What makes you say that, lad?
We will stop by your shop later after our meeting with Heartgaze.
I see. Be careful what you say and where you use that name. You can get someone's attention quite quickly using it.
That is why I am concerned with this situation.
Yes, well, at least we have people on the case. Yes, please, if you believe this is more serious, then you should quickly move over there and see what you can do.
Thank you, my dear. We shall see to doing so.
Right then, off you go. Do enjoy yourself. The market is quite a fun environment to be in. I should be getting back in, making sure that he hasn't decided to take his preposterous claim and start taking my goods. If that were the case, well, he'd really feel my wrath. But anyway, have a good day.
To you as well, my dear. Light be with you.
Felderas, and she waves her hand and begins to walk. She kind of walks in sort of a back alley of the streets and avoids the major crowds, putting her hood back up. But as soon as she turns the corner, you don't even see a shadow. She just disappears.
Winter looks around a little surprised. Well, that was a little different.
Indeed.
And Ari just kind of smirks.
Are there any particular potions that you may want to acquire a free sample of?
You are addressing dear Winter here.
Yeah, I was asking Winter that.
Winter looks surprised, like she didn't realize anyone was talking to her. It's like, oh wait, are you talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, well, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to think on that.
Alright, so you are all standing right now, kind of off to the side of the main roadway, but just in front of you is the large market. You can hear the sound of the fountain as Tila mentioned, rushing in, and you're far enough in that you can see the beginnings of it. It's a very large fountain that goes through the entire town. It serves as both sort of a centerpiece and sort of a beautiful fountain, as they like to call it, but also as the main source of water for the town. If you sort of head to your northwest, you can make your way to the mayor's office.
We should go get our pay now.
I was about to suggest the same thing. Our pay first before we do any shopping or investigation. We can also add to our investigation by speaking with the assistant mayor, see what she might know, and add it to our knowledge.
You should be careful about that.
Well, of course, discretion as always, but more knowledge is always helpful.
Alright. As you guys make your way to the upper district, so, you make your way to the upper part of town, where you start to see a higher class of houses and buildings, as well as better paved streets. The streets you've been traveling on are sandstone, used fairly often, and they're not bad in any way. But these ones, in this upper part, you can tell are meticulously taken care of. They are much more pristine and a lot less covered in sand dust than the rest. Eventually, you reach the tallest of these buildings. It is almost fortress-like in its design. You see there it has a tall tower, and it reaches towards the sky. And it has strong sandstone bricks that are carefully set into place. Now, the building does look it looks sort of old, but it is well kept. And you see a few gardens and gardeners attending a few plants outside the archway, leading into this large open wooden door. On a wall next to these large doors is a plaque, and it reads the Capitol Building of the town of Zagahta. Everyone
can't
can
see
see? No.
Nope.
There's a random token, and that's it. Huh? Okay, what?
Can we see now?
Yes.
Thought I fixed that. Did not. Okay. Upon entering, you are immediately greeted with welcomed, cool air. You remember your last visit here that this building is well insulated from the heat outside, making staying here rather pleasant. You also, as you step in, immediately begin to remember that this pleasant, arid nature is immediately soured by the tacky decorating. You walk in upon the series of poorly designed, mustard-fading yellow rugs that litter the hallway. The walls are decorated with images of mares that have come before, but in between them are more tacky tapestry. Blood-red drapes that look like long toad tongues speckled with dirty orange dots. Is definitely this decorating is the thing that sticks into your mind the most, and as you come in, it immediately comes back into you as just how poorly designed this interior is. But hey, at least it's cool.
Only literally cool.
Yeah, only literally.
Not roasting.
In a few short steps through the hallway, you reach the assistant mayor's office. As instructed before, you can knock upon the door, or you can go into the waiting room as whatever. But you were invited that upon completing this mission to go and just simply knock on her door and enter in if she was available.
Well, in that case, I will so knock.
Alright. As you do, you hear the familiar, pleasant, and cheerful voice of Mayor Heartgaze. Come in! And as I assume you do, You're immediately greeted by the familiar figure of the white-haired Azamar woman with a red rose perched in her just white hair. She is, and this is the very familiar Ala Heartgaze.
Her first name was Allah?
Ala. I will type it out.
Okay.
So, as you all shimmy into the room, it is a small room. You remember upon getting in, and it's difficult for you all to fit in. It would be larger if it weren't for several bookshelves just stacked with papers and books of all kinds. Anyone who cares to can make a perception check and see what kind of papers these are.
I want to look at them.
Does that include people inside a magic necklace?
Yeah, you can see everything that they can.
I'm not entirely sure of Gorm's literacy level.
So for this, basically Vinda is using me for leverage to see what the books are and taking advantage of my particular orientation to look at the books rather than, helping me out. Cool.
Huh?
You rolled a 13, I rolled a 10. You rolled better than me. Therefore, you're taking advantage of what I did. Because why not?
I'm little. I'm used to looking at details. Something like that. I don't know.
So, those of you below a 10, they're documents of some kind. You're not exactly sure. They're not. Some of them seem to be neatly stacked, and others are just sort of haphazardly put in there. For the rest of you who roll higher, you can notice that some of them are labeled as maps. Others are labeled as tax forms. Some are registration forms and census
Did you see
books.
my roll?
I can see.
What does Gorm see?
Getting to that.
I don't know if I would understand necessarily what I see, though.
Gorm.
Sorry for interrupting.
No, you're fine.
Me too.
Yes, for triple sixes. What do you think your literacy level is?
Fairly low.
Okay.
Whatever you would need to get by.
You pick out words like maps, and you can see, and this is, something your brother has an interest in, it immediately catches your eye, and you notice that there's a stack of maps here. Some of these are older, and maybe, and you can kind of tell as some of them are sort of half covered. These appear to be older maps of Zagahta. Other ones are sort of smaller, minier maps, things like waterways, Zagahta's waterways. Just general things mapping out the area that anyone in a position of power who needs to build or whatever would need to know about the area. Those are very neatly kept in there. You also see, as you're paying more attention though to the room is not as tactically decorated. You see no hints of the rugs or the tapestries or anything. Despite the bookshelves, it's actually very well kept. And the windows in here are rather large and reveal the outside town and have a good view of it from the upper tier. It appears, as far as you're getting, is that Mayor Heartgaze, whoever is probably not the one in charge of the decorating, and she seems to have a slightly better taste within this room. Who approaches Heartgaze?
Alright, I do. Erithis will step forward and greet her formally as much as he can. Assistant Mayor Heartgaze.
Mr. Dayspell, welcome back, and all your compatriots as well.
Yes, we are back, and it's good to see you again, my lady.
And you. I assume this means you have completed the task I asked of you.
Yes, the cave is completely clear. There are no troglodytes there anymore.
Wonderful, wonderful. This is surely going to lift a huge weight off my shoulders. The least I could do is pay you. 60 silver, I believe, was the agreed amount upon.
Yes, that's what I have.
Great, fantastic. Oh, but before I pay you all, would you mind terribly if I introduce you to the mayor? I just think he would be overjoyed to hear that this problem has been solved for us.
Oh, not at all, not at all.
Right, very well. Thank you again so much. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't answered my call.
Well, we had some spare time to take care of, and might as well aid those we can.
You are quite generous, I thank you. Well, I promise it'll only be a moment. Let me go see if the mayor is ready.
Alright, thank you.
Did you seem a little too happy to anybody else?
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
True, but...
What was her demeanor when she gave us the quest?
Pretty much the same. It's bubbly, cheerful. Go ahead and give me a intelligence check.
Are we all doing this?
Just anyone who wants to.
Who wants to do what?
To recall what her general demeanor was the last time you spoke with her. Harry, you have a -1 to your intelligence.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
It's great. It's a good time.
That happens?
So
could be worse.
Yeah, I'm wise because I'm old, but also
Kinda dumb.
He's going senile.
I'm not going senile. I'm like 50. Okay, maybe early onset Alzheimer's or something.
It's the beginning.
You're wise, you know what would happen in a fight and whatnot, but you might not necessarily know what 2 times 3x divided by y
what are
equals.
books? books. Who needs books? I'll just fight things.
Okay. I need like a counter that shows me everyone's rules.
Just to clarify, I did not roll.
Okay. So I'm gonna say anyone above a 9 knows, remembers. Yeah, she basically the same. Even though she's bubbly and cheerful, there was always this air of sort of being under too much work and stress, but trying to push through that and present a pleasant, welcoming demeanor as a representative of the government in this area.